Maison Labs is dedicated to cutting-edge research in biology and medical advancements. Led by the research of Dr. Lucas Coiner, Maison Labs is constantly innovating the science and technology of our galaxy. In all of our facilities, we pride ourselves on top-of-the-line security. With the help of the Urbana Cold Spear, Guard Commander Graves keeps Maison's research safe and protected. Thank you for your support and cooperation. Maison Labs, for a better galaxy.
Dr. Lucas Coiner is one of two options for a leader in the Maison Labs Dead Zone list. He has a good stat line with average shooting and fighting on a 5-up, but bolsters a 4-up save. This 4-up save is necessary because he doesn't have an armor value. Where this character really shines is in his ability to support his strike team through special rules and, most importantly, his splat. Coiner is a supportive model. He accomplishes this through his Tactician 2 and his ability to heal injured models. His array of tentacles brings him cool weapon options, both a range F and range 1 injector that stuns the enemy, and an AP1 range 2 it burns laser cutter. In addition, he has Frenzy 1, so if you need him to, he can hop into the fight and reliably hold up pretty well. All of this is good, but his splat, fast-acting serum, is one of the best in all of Dead Zone. Essentially, if one of your strike team members dies, so let's say this Marauder shoots this lab technician, if he dies, you can play a splat and resurrect that model as a plague victim in the prone position. We'll discuss plague victims in a bit, but this is a really powerful ability to say the least. One thing to note though, is that your opponent will get victory points for killing the initial model, but will also get victory points if they kill the plague victim as well. Tactics-wise, Coiner's no slouch in combat, or in shooting, but due to his short range, you'll want to keep him in supportive areas of the battlefield. While he's there, if you can, try to get him to use the most of his evil medical degree by having him go into this friendly cube and healing up your guys while he's not doing too much. Like I said, he can hold his own, but you want to keep him in more supportive roles. Overall, Lucas Coiner is the go-to choice for the Maison Labs, and I feel that most people are going to bring him as the leader. The other leader option for the Maison Labs is Guard Commander Graves. 4 points cheaper and only 2 victory points, Guard Commander Graves is yet another supportive leader. He's only Tactician 1, but his better recon stat and the ability to re-roll 1 recon dice through Strategist makes him a good option. Unlike Coiner, Graves has Armor 1. His stat line is a 4-up shoot, a 5-up fight, and a 5-up save. Graves has a bionic arm with AP1 and knockback, and a range 3 pistol with weight of fire 1. His splat, Head of Security, allows a model to make a free fire for effect action, provided that they have rapid fire. This ability is very helpful if you're playing against enemies that are tougher or scarier than you, and you're really good at seeing synergies between units on the battlefield. A free fire for effect means that this ranger could shoot at the Veerman, injure it, use his free fire for effect, pin it, and then this is the synergies I was talking about. You could have a combat unit run in to get bonuses. While Graves is often overshadowed by Coiner, he is more combat effective and by no means a bad choice. One thing you might consider doing is outfitting him with a rifle to get the most out of his 4-up shoot. I think his splat offers lots of options and tactical creativity, and I think he's a very good choice. Plus, only being 2 victory points means if he dies, it's not the end of the world. Lab technicians are cheap, expendable troops. They only cost 6 points, so you get what you pay for. With a shoot of 6-up, a fight of 5-up, and a survive of 6-up, you shouldn't expect these troops to be on the board for very long. Armed with a shock baton, which grants them knockback and the ability to prevent friendly models from rampaging if they're in the same cube. Lab technicians are easy victory points for your enemy, so their main role on the battlefield should be going onto objectives and holding on to them while the rest of your force does the rest of the work. If something does enter the cube with you, you do have a 5-up fight, so there's a decent chance that you can knock them back and still get the victory points for that round. All in all, lab technicians aren't horrible, but you need to know what you're getting into when you use them. Use them wisely, use them carefully, and use them to sit on objectives. Security guards are your basic average ranged troop choice. Sporting no armor and a stat line of 5-up shoot, 6-up fight, and 5-up survive, these troops are in the middle of the road for the Maison labs. Security guards are good for shooting enemies that don't have high armor. They're good for sitting on objectives and fulfilling other mission requirements. Security guards are cheap, and they don't do anything great, but that's kind of the point. They also work well with both of the splats available to the Maison labs. Especially if you're tight for points, security guards can be a good option for some basic boots on the ground. Urbana Blackwing Marines are similar to security guards in their role in Maison labs, but they are better in a couple of key ways. While they still don't have an armor value, Blackwing Marines shoot on a 5-up, fight on a 5-up, and survive on a 5-up as well. The best part about them is that they're armed with a laser carbine, a range 6 weapon with rapid fire, and most importantly, weight of fire 1. Being able to re-roll 1 dice on shoot actions is a massive benefit to a unit, especially shooting on 5-ups. These troops do come at a slightly higher cost, clocking in at 11 points compared to the security guard's 8 points, but it's well worth it for the reroll in the shooting and the better fight stat. If points aren't as tight in your list, this is the best troop available to you. While we're discussing Blackwing Marines, let's talk about the Blackwing Specialist. The Specialist is exactly the same stat line as the normal Marine. However, it comes with many more weapon options. This is your opportunity to get your hands on a flamethrower, DMR with a hollow sight, a grenade launcher, or a thermal rifle for some AP2 in your list. This is a good specialist, but specialists are a competitive slot in the Maison labs, so choose your weapon wisely, and don't forget that these upgrades can get pretty pricey. Next up is the Blackwing Ranger. This specialist is 16 points and 2 victory points, and has the same basic stat line as the Blackwing Marine. The key difference is that Rangers have Armor 1 and the Scout ability, which can be very advantageous to getting in a good shooting position early in the game. Like any model with Scout, you want to make sure that you get into a good, advantageous shooting position while not sacrificing how vulnerable you might be to the enemy. Always keep this in mind when scouting, because it's very easy to get carried away with a good shot and forget to keep your guy alive. Also remember that just like the Marine, the Ranger can re-roll 1 dice when shooting because of weight of fire, making them a very good specialist choice. The Maison Labs list also features engineers and medics, both with a 5-up shoot, a 6-up fight, and a 5-up survive, both equipped with a range 3 pistol. I personally think that there are much better reliable options for specialists in this list, and I don't foresee many people using these options, but they are available to you. If it fits your playstyle to have a medic out there, go for it. The Blackwing Strider is just like any other Strider in the game. It has a shoot of 5-up, a fight of 5-up, a save of 4-up, 2 hard points, a beast construct solid, and it has armor 3. This is a very durable, reliable unit that can constantly put out damage. This massive model is able to stay alive for long periods of time and cause massive damage. It can also soak up a lot of enemy firepower, so use that to your advantage as well. One of the factors that makes the Maison Labs list so diverse is its ability to bring powerful close combat options. The Aberration specimen is one of the strongest melee options in the game, and for good reason. This size 4 model comes in a massive 40 points and 4 victory points. and is equipped with a 3-up fight, a save of 4-up, armor 1, and now tough. Its attacks are AP 2 and have knockback as well. However, this model does have Rampage, so if it's injured, it'll have to roll a d8 to see if it stays stable, gains a point of movement, or your opponent gets to take control of the model for a turn. In my experience using the Aberration, this risk has been well worth it because of the raw damage output this model can produce. Maison Labs is one of the few lists that can combine good shooting with high quality melee units. Plague Victims are absolutely awesome units that can be added to the Maison Labs list. They move at the fastest speed in the entire army, going 2 to 3 cubes. They have a fight of 4, a survive of 5, they are beasts, and they have frenzy. Much like the Aberration, they have Rampage as well, so be careful with them if they get injured. If a Plague Victim does get injured, a lab technician can be in the same cube to prevent it from rampaging. Remember this just in case you have a lab technician anywhere close to these guys. Fighting on a 4-up with Frenzy 1 is an amazing combination. Use this to your absolute advantage in any of your combats. Don't forget they have Frenzy. If a Plague Victim is pinned due to suppression or coming back from a splat from Dr. Coiner's ability, don't forget that his short action is actually 2 cubes. This can catch a lot of people off guard. So use this to your advantage and take advantage of those poor situations where they think they're safe when in reality you're faster than they thought. The Organic Data Storage Unit is a unique specialist that accomplishes a variety of tasks. Being one of the only psychic units in the game, the ODSU has many different abilities that can give your strike team something of a wild card-like edge. The ODSU is a size 3 model that comes in at 24 points and 2 victory points. Its actual stat line isn't anything crazy. It's got a 5-up shoot, a 5-up fight, and a 6-up survive. However, it has Frenzy 1 and Energy Shield 2. Where this unit really comes into its own is through psychic abilities. Psychic abilities work just like shooting attacks, except it's very important to remember that you don't need line of sight to affect your target. Your target can be friendly or enemy. For example, Mind Blast, which is range 4, is a psychic weapon, so the Chovar, or the ODSU, could use it in this situation to try to knock that Rev soldier off the top of a building. Another psychic power that this model contains is Stun. Essentially, you do a shoot action, and if you're successful, the model is then activated. The ODSU remains to be one of the most unique specialists in the game, and has potentially the most game-altering effects. Being able to invigorate your own people or stun the enemy is incredibly valuable. I personally love the fact that it has such incredible variety in its powers, so it's never bound to just one thing. In addition, the ability to not need line of sight is incredibly good in this game, especially if you can find a good spot to keep him safe. You can really have a powerful effect on the rest of the game without getting in danger. In conclusion, the Maison Labs is an exciting new addition to DreadPathZone. While they don't have many unit entries, they do have lots of variety and fun, creative combinations. By utilizing this ability to have quality shooting and powerful close combat options, Maison Labs is certainly a force to be reckoned with and a brilliant addition to the game. Thank you for watching this breakdown of Maison Labs. I had an absolute great time painting these models, reviewing their rules, and putting this video together. Don't forget to purchase DreadPathZone Outbreak before this summer campaign and join in the fun. Also, like, comment, and subscribe for more DreadPathZone content. Keep rolling 8s.